What's up, girlfriends? Welcome to Girlfriend Therapy Podcast. As you guys know, I have been having this year of conversations. And if you have never, here's the thing, you should just reach out to women and just strike up conversation. One of the things I love to do is tell me about yourself, because we are so dynamic, first of all, as women. But when we get to talk to each other, it's just the most beautiful experience ever. And I have been having the most amazing time just with this year of conversations. I think today's conversation actually marks maybe my 21st or 22nd conversation. I have to count the weeks, but this has been the most incredible experience. And today I have the fabulous, the beautiful Ms. Zenja Stallworth. And I love the first name, Zenja. It means one held in high esteem. And you guys can look at her. She is absolute royalty. She's beautiful, beautiful queen. And we will certainly hold her in high esteem. And I am so excited to have her here with the Girlfriend Therapy Podcast. Zenja, I'll let you jump in, and then I'll share a little bit more about how we connected. So just wanted to give you an opportunity to say hey to the
Hey,
Girlfriend
girl,
Therapy.
hey.
Right? Exactly. Just hey to the Girlfriend Therapy viewers. But we're going to have a great conversation, guys. But before we jump into the conversation, I have to say how, things happen in such a proper timing. And Zenja, I wanted to grab the book that you sent me. I don't know if you remember that months ago.
The Worthy Wardrobe.
Exactly, which is so appropriate for the conversation that we're going to have today, the Worthy Wardrobe. So before we get into the topic, I want to share with you guys, I actually met Zenja years ago in Leavenworth, Kansas, guys, of all places. We both were stationed there in the military. This was 91, 92. So this was way back when we were, but young lads, not lads, just young girls, very, very young, finding ourselves, learning ourselves. But
what is it? Young, free, and wild?
Young, free, and wild. I like that. But it was amazing because I always like to do some fun facts. So here's a really quick fun fact. Pam, who was my bunk buddy in basic training, she and I actually left, Fort McClellan, Alabama. No, Fort Lee, Virginia together to go to Leavenworth, Kansas. The Army put us on a bus and sent us all the way from Alabama to Kansas on a bus. Who does that? But Pam was actually Zenja's roommate at Fort Leavenworth. So she was my bunk buddy in AIT. So it was just just those connections that you don't expect.
Yeah. And then we're actually still 30 years later, we both live here in the same city and are close friends and spend lots of time together.
Exactly. And I think we got reconnected. Although we didn't really spend a lot of time together in Leavenworth, we had this really cool group, this really cool Facebook group with just the folks that was from Leavenworth during that time. And so we got reconnected there. Always been such a sweet spirit, and I appreciate you so much. So when I asked you to be a part of this, she was like, sure.
I told you, I'm shy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. As shy can be, right? But what I love about it too is what I just learned today is that you are from Compton, California. I think that is so dope. I was sharing with her, guys, before we, started talking, that everybody that I've met from Compton is so stellar and so dynamic. And a lot of times, we'll look at a city and we kind of get caught up in what the news says about a city, but we forget that it's made up of people. And the people can be as dynamic as they want to be. And Zenja is certainly a great representation for the city of Compton.
Thank you.
But welcome so much. And thank you. Welcome. And thank you so much for being here. And today we're going to talk about, like I said, you sent this book over, and I think because I thrift and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I think at the time you were going through your closet. And you had all these bins you had pulled out.
Oh my gosh. And just bins on bins, and I still have bins on bins that I don't know. So when COVID hit, right? Like most people, I started working 100% remotely. And so I don't get to dress like I would dress if I was going into the office. So that's the first issue. But then the second issue is that COVID-20. I cannot. I'm
forget COVID-19. That COVID-20 pounds that you put on.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm I can't fit a thing. And so somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, once I get back to like, getting out the house and, not working remotely,
the weight will fall off and I'll go back and I'll be able to fit all those old clothes that are in the closet. That was my thinking too. Yeah, my thinking.
So that's kind of where I am. So it's only appropriate. And then we both are women of a certain age, which, we're absolutely aging gracefully. Like how some people say aging backwards. But then there's a question of like, what's appropriate? So, although
and I know for me, since I'm now 50, that's something, I think about. I want, you think about redefining yourself. For work, I've always, as a school teacher, because I teach business, I've always dressed professionally, which, especially now since the COVID-20, the clothes fit, a lot better than they used to.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
So women are always, how do you get the guys to, cater to you? And it's all in your personality.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't help to look nice either.
Yeah.
And wear your heels every day.
But so do you still wear heels every day? So I will tell you, I don't know how we would have set this up, but we'll start with the heels because I can wear a pair of heels. I mean, if they're a chunky heel, I'm typically okay. But if I wear like a regular, regular stiletto type heel, like normal heels that I would typically wear, I say my feet hurt for like 3 days afterwards.
Really?
Yes. I cannot, I could barely put a slipper on at that point.
And see, I'm the opposite. When I wear flat shoes, my feet hurt.
Oh, wow. But I think like right before the pandemic, I had started wearing flats more because I was doing like a lot of walking, a lot of meetings. So I started like wearing flats more than I had heels. And then going into the pandemic, of course.
And that's all you wore was flat and comfortable shoes.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I went to my daughter's graduation, I guess a couple of weeks ago now, and I pulled out these really cute shoes that I had bought right before the pandemic, and they were perfect for my outfit.
You thought you were going to wear them?
Well, I wore them, right? But they started wearing me after a while. I said, if anybody is recording me while I'm walking, I literally, after the graduation, because of course with graduations, you're walking across the parking lot to get to the building. And after that graduation, we were waiting for her to come out. And I was like, I cannot walk another step. And she's like, oh, I'm over here. So we had to walk, a little bit further to get to where she was. And when I say my ankles was like this. And my feet, it wasn't even that my feet hurt. It was just like my ankles hurt. And, we took some pictures. And by the time it was time to walk back to that car, girl, I was like, look, I said, I'm going to have to take my shoes off. I said, I'm going to be looking real country out here in Arkansas, walking across these parking lots with no shoes on because
that's when they're used to saying that. That's when you need to keep those little ballerina slippers in your purse so you can slip those on.
And that's funny.
Something.
Exactly. And I have a pair, but I never think to put them in my purse. So I guess the key with we're talking about, what's appropriate and, aging gracefully and all that beautiful stuff. If you can still wear heels,
I say wear them. Because, I have, back issues and doctors will always say, well, you need to not be wearing, but I feel like you only live once. I mean, why should I have to cut corners on everything? Now I got to watch what I eat. I got to watch what I wear.
Exactly. Yes. And so I think the shoes, I'm learning that as long as they're a chunky heel, I'm good. You can wear them. Yeah. A good chunky heel with a nice platform. I'm good.
But you feel a different sort of way when you have your heels on.
You do. I feel leaner. I feel sexier. I feel, I do. I feel a lot better with heels on. I just have to get the right ones.
That's it. So I have a pair, which I bought multiple pairs, and I wear the same style shoe, which is a Calvin Klein pump.
Yes.
And people laugh because I'll be like, well, those are my work shoes, and I keep them in the car. A pair of brown or nude and a pair of black, just in case I can see what I'm wearing. I wear, my little slippers to the car. Exactly. And then when I get ready to get out of the car at school, I just put on the heels.
Exactly. And it's funny because I do the same thing. I will buy multiple colors in the same thing. If it's something that I like, something that's comfortable, I will buy all colors, brown, black, gray, blue, whatever colors they have to offer. I'm all over it.
I say, why not?
Exactly. So what are some of the fashion or, you know, the wardrobe, maybe faux pas that, you know, maybe at 50, you're looking at like, okay, can I still get away with this kind of deal?
Well, I think for us, probably at 50, we think about the length of stuff. Because, you know, younger people feel like we shouldn't be wearing, you know, anything that's maybe 2 inches above the knee. That's as far as we should go, right?
Right.
But, you know, I have seen some people 50, 60 that look amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, wear that.
Exactly.
If that's what you want to wear now. Now, I can't wear that to high school where I teach.
Just say the poor boys won't be able to focus.
Look, the teachers either. So, you know, when I say appropriate, that's what I mean is thinking about, you know, what the event you're going to, or the situation. You know,
that
what
makes
you
sense.
want people to pay attention to. Because if you're doing something like going to an interview, and if there is a male, well, nowadays it doesn't matter whether it's male or female,
right?
You know, they can view how you're dressed, you know, in a negative light.
Exactly.
Even though you think you may look really nice, you just never know, you know, what somebody else's opinion is. And I say I'm conservative.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to show a whole lot of flesh. But I believe you can be conservative and still be sexy.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because I always a lot of times I'll dress in silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I mean by that, like if I'm wearing like wide leg bottoms, then I'll wear something a little tighter at the top kind of deal. But then sometimes I just, you know, especially when I'm kind of just in a baggy mode and everything is just like oversized. But one thing I'll tell you that I do steer away from is midriffs. So I'm like,
I'm not doing that.
I can't.
Now, more power. If you're over 50 and that's your thing, you know.
Yeah, you can still get away with it.
Yeah, because I see women all the time with items on, and I'm like, my self-confidence must really be low.
It's like I can't do that.
But I guess, you know, as long as you feel confident and comfortable in it, and it's not going overboard. Like I'm one, when it comes to church,
right?
Titties and booty, that's not supposed to me. That's not supposed to be out.
Not supposed to be
I know
church,
some people it doesn't matter, but you know, like you're not supposed to cause the preacher, you know, to stumble and fall.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think that's always a good. But like I've never been like really, you know, busty or anything like that. So. But I think it is key knowing to like what really looks good on your body. I think that's a good thing. And I think also, like you said, whatever you're comfortable with, because some people are really comfortable with, you know, wearing tight clothes. I don't want anything tight on these days, honestly. I don't know. I think I
prefer if it wasn't either.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Right.
So they're not, then I don't use the word, I say fitted.
Fitted. I like that. Because I mean, talking about fitted, I cannot fit anything. Like I think I was going through my closet and I mean, first of all, I have way too many clothes anyway, but then to go through and start doing like a purge, you know, what is it? Marie Kondo was kind of like, what doesn't give you joy, you know, get rid of it.
Get rid of,
I was like, no, like Mother Nature was deciding what I needed to get rid of.
Because a lot of it still gave you joy to look at, but when you tried to put it on,
it gave me the blues.
One side didn't meet the other, then it's like
exactly.
Okay. But then some things you still hold on to you because you're like, you know, I might get back into that.
Exactly. Which is funny. I think for me, I've always been really thin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was telling my husband, I said, this is the most I have weighed in my entire life. And I'm like 140 pounds. And people don't want to hear that. It's like, girl, whatever, bye. But I'm like, but it's different.
They don't understand it.
They don't.
You're used to being thin all your life.
Exactly. And then it gets to the point, like I've never had to have these conversations like with my closet and my clothes and like, I'm going to come back to you one day. You know, I've never had to have that conversation. And now I'm like, yeah. And then even going shopping, it's like, it's almost miserable because I can't, and I think my mind has to catch up because it's not like I'm like looking for a size 52 or, you know, some, you know, really
you still want to go for your old size, but now it's like, okay, well, I know I really need to try it on, but I hate trying on clothes.
Exactly. And I'll hold it up like, okay, I think I can fit that.
That's me. And then get it home and be like, oops.
Right. And it is funny, like where the weight for me, the weight is like all in my midsection and in my bottom.
Which is us as women.
Right.
Carry, yeah.
So I'll get some jeans and it's like, oh yeah, I definitely can fit these. I bought these jeans probably about a month or so ago. And I was like, oh, these are going to be way too big, but that's okay. I like, I'll wear them baggy or whatever.
But then when you tried them on.
I was so like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like insane.
Fitted. Fitted.
They weren't even fitted. They was just like, no, ma'am. Like they got to the top of my thighs and was like, no further. And I'm just like, I was like, seriously, like borderline depressed. Like, this is crazy. This is really crazy. But I think I'm learning exactly. And I think I'm learning to like at this stage, really appreciate as long as I'm healthy. I'm like, I'm trying not to worry too much about like the weight and how much, what the pounds are, but really getting to a place where I'm healthy. And then I want my clothes to look good.
To look good and to feel good in your clothes. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the part I'm kind of struggling with now. Like my favorite go-to is like a nice shirt dress. Like that is classic.
They're the most comfortable.
Exactly. So a nice little shirt dress, a sweater dress, like all of that is good.
So now I gotta ask, how many pairs of Spanx do you own?
I do not own any Spanx.
Hey, so you're still good.
Well, I'm like, I need to buy some though.
I got about 5 or 6 pair, and different ones for different outfits.
Do you? Like, I'm gonna have to get some. Like honestly, I was looking at them, and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin. I know I need something to keep this stomach under control. So I'm like, that's the first step.
And that's what they make them the most for.
Okay.
So I guess thinking about what you wear a lot of, like I wear a lot of dresses. So I tend to look for the shaper that's not the lines aren't going to show through my clothing because it is fitted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to know that because those
and then, they have the ones that zip and button all the way up. So you want to make sure you get one that has at least the open crotch so that if an emergency comes.
Oh my God. See, I wouldn't even thought about that. This is important information, y'all, because I would not have thought about that.
There is nothing worse than being at a spot where you cannot get all of that off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't even imagine. No. So I definitely have that on my list, the Spanx. But I think also like the midriff kind of pants. I don't think those are a thing anymore. I feel like they're supposed to be
rise. I guess they call
low rise. Yeah. Are they coming back in season? I feel like I've heard people saying it, but I think
mostly now they're wearing the higher waisted jeans.
Yes. And I'm all for it. I am here for the mom jeans.
I have one of those Coke bottle shapes. Like I'm boxy anyway, so high waisted works for me.
Exactly. I'm all for the high waisted jeans. I'm trying to think what are some other fashion, or especially as you age, like what do you have to give up? And for me, I think it's like the low cut, the high weight, the low rise, like anything that's just below my natural.
But I feel like, it really just depends on the person because there are some things I've seen young women wear, even girls at high school. And I love a good yoga pants. I do, leggings, great. I just don't believe you should wear them everywhere.
Right.
And if you are, maybe have somebody look to tell you whether or not your underwear are showing or whatever.
Yeah.
But some people, that's the go-to. They rather get up every morning, throw on a pair of leggings and a t-shirt, and that's great.
So that's their uniform for the day.
That's just not me.
Yeah, same here. But I remember like when I was growing up, we were taught to wear like slips, and although I don't wear stockings, I remember,
Yeah, exactly.
But I still see like a lot of young people, I think they missed the memo on a slip.
Well, they don't even know what that is because now their parents are of age where they don't know what a slip is.
Very true.
So they're not, they're not wearing them.
Very true. And I'm always like, nope, you got to have a slip with a little pin on it so that in case you need a pin for something. I don't know why.
I didn't think I was going to need the slip or the stockings until I recently became an Eastern Star. And now that it's, you got to wear stockings.
Oh.
And I just, it took me a while to stop wearing stockings. Because I used to be like, well, no, that's not, you got to wear stockings. Anytime you dress up and you wear heels, or when you go to church, you got to be appropriate and wear the stockings. I really, when we first met, I only weighed like 104 pounds.
Yep, same here.
And so, you know, it bothered other people that I was so small.
Yeah.
To the point where it bothered me. So I dressed baggy until my early 30s.
Really? It's funny because you have a son, or you have sons?
I have 2 sons and a daughter.
Okay. How old is your daughter?
My daughter's 29. So my oldest son is 33. Then I have a 29-year-old daughter and a 25-year-old son.
Okay. Now, it's funny because, and I asked that question because my daughter is really thin as well. My whole family, we've all been thin. But I realized that like being comfortable in my own skin was helpful for her to be comfortable in her own skin. So I don't think I ever really had like that, oh, I'm skinny kind of thing. Like
it bothers other people.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
They say stuff to you and it's like, worry about yourself.
Exactly.
Just worry about, why are you worried about me?
Exactly.
Let me be who I am. Because at that point, there's really only so much you can do. And I've tried the diets, you know, eating the 10,000 calories a day to try to gain weight. And when that's just not where your body is, that's not where your body is.
And it's so funny because now fast forward 30 years later,
like,
I'm like,
now I don't want to be 104 again.
Exactly.
But I'm like, you know, if I could at least take off the COVID weight and, you know, have chiseled abs.
Oh my gosh.
That would be great.
Exactly. And I'm like, I miss I literally have a tattoo on my stomach because I loved showing my abs so much when I was young. So now I look, now it's just like a secret. Huh?
Hidden secret now, huh?
Right. But now it's not even cute anymore. Like when you got the little stomach pudge, it's like my poor little tattoo just looked like. Yeah.
You know, those are things I guess we have to think about.
Exactly.
One of the big things too that's come out now in school, bonnets.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So the girls are actually, I mean, bonnets dang near like you got on your pajamas.
Really? So they wear it to school?
And we're a uniform school. And the girls put the bonnets on. So I said this year, since I mentor the young women at my school, I'm going to teach them how to wear the scarves. So even if you're having a bad day, just grab a scarf and put it on, as opposed to walking around with a bonnet.
Yeah.
They just don't get that you can meet anybody, somebody who's willing to offer you, you know, a college scholarship,
exactly,
of a lifetime. And because you look a certain way and they may be put off by it,
exactly,
it causes you to lose that opportunity.
I remember, I guess it was a couple of years ago when that was like the whole big thing. I think it was the comedian Monique when she mentioned
she said something about the bonnets.
Yeah, and it was like a whole big you know, this, I mean, it was just like so controversial and people were talking about it and everybody had their opinions. And I was trying to remember like what my thoughts were about it. But I was like, I wasn't raised to wear bonnets. Like I don't typically wear a bonnet. I own a bonnet, but I don't, even when I think when I was
want to wear one to bed. So
right. I think that's the only time I would have wore it. But I had to check with my daughter before, you know, I kind of was like, because I didn't raise her to wear a bonnet outside. I was like, do you wear bonnets? She was like, no, you know, I was like, okay.
Well, see, that's the good thing. Our girls do remember what they were taught. Because, you know, my daughter was always heavy chested. And so my thing to her was always a camisole. You got to wear, you know, all that doesn't need to be showing. You're in high school.
Exactly.
Now, once you get grown and you want to be sexy and show a little, you know, indent.
Exactly.
That's different, but
yeah. And even with my daughter, because she's always been thin, but she likes to wear like really short shorts. And I remember when she was like even in like high school, and she would come down with the shorts, and it's like, where are you going with those shorts? You know, and she's like, what? You know, I'm like, those are too short. Like you can't wear those out the house.
They're the ones that are practically like underwear to us.
Right. And it's just like, I know you're little and you're thin, but that's just not appropriate, like to be out the house with that. But I really, and then she's like a lot of legs. So I realized that, okay, when you wear flats, it doesn't look as I don't even know what the inappropriate, as if
your legs look a little shorter, so it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, even having to be able to teach her how to dress appropriately, has always been just really important,
Because they'll say, we can dress, you should be able to dress any way you want to. But the truth is that we're judged by what we wear.
Yeah.
Whether it's women or men.
And it is unfortunate, but it's the reality. I remember I was at work, and I was in a cafeteria, and this one woman, she was walking by, and she had on first of all, she had on a pair of black patent leather, like Louboutins. The heel was like, I don't know, it had to be about a 6-inch heel.
Wow.
Her skirt was so short that you can literally see the bottoms of her butt cheeks. And she's walking through the cafeteria, and I promise you, everybody was like you can just see the expression on everybody's face. And so even people that wasn't facing her, like I was sitting at the table like, oh my gosh. And the person that I was sitting at the table with, they kind of turned around and was like, oh, and it's like, where are you going dressed like that?
But for her, she thought she was appropriately dressed.
Yeah. And it was crazy because one of my friends, she actually like reached out to HR and was like, hey, so if you see somebody dressed like this, can you, because everything is so sensitive these days. She's like, can you say something to them, or like, what's the appropriate way? And they were like, well, no, you can't. Like if their supervisor said something, but you just as a random person in the building that they happen to work in.
You gotta act like you don't see it. You didn't see it.
Right. Exactly. Everybody's just like, okay.
And but then, people are so that they want to be able to wear whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Anyway. So is it really worth the argument sometimes?
Yeah. Especially these days. I mean, people are, they just dig in deeper and
they're quick to move to violence. So, it's
that part too, right? It's like, I'm not about to fight you.
Not worth all of that.
I'm not about to fight you because half your butt cheek out. Like I'm not.
Like if you're okay with that, right, in a time like this, but you gotta sit on something that some metal or some leather. Yeah, it's gonna hit you.
Exactly. But then I think I always look at I mean, especially being 50. And I'm kind of looking at my closet now, and we were talking about like, reinventing our closet space and all that stuff. But then trying to figure out like, okay, what is like my go-to kind of style. And so I literally have on my Pinterest, I started a board. I think it's called 50 plus.
Oh, okay.
And so I started like kind of pinning different outfits or different styles. Yeah. And a lot of it I'm finding is, like jeans with the blazer and some flats, like, just like real simple.
And see, I'd be jeans and a blazer and the pumps.
See, I don't know, but but it's like the, kind of figuring out like where, like what fits you. So it's like the same thing, jeans and a blazer, and you're good with pumps. So you rock the pumps. I'm kind of like, nope, give me a flat. What's your favorite season? Like your favorite season to dress?
Summer. Well, no, let me say fall.
Yes.
Fall is because I'm a scarf person.
Yes. I'm a boots person.
Yeah.
I love boots, so I love the fall.
The fall, yeah, you can dress it up. You can layer up, like.
Yes. So is there anything that I guess you think, and I guess we probably talked about this a little bit, but I think it really kind of first comes down to what you're comfortable with. But is there an absolute like, nope, that's a no for somebody, say over 50, no matter what your, no matter what your shape is, no matter what, is there anything that you would say like, at 50, we shouldn't be doing that?
I have not run into anything where I feel like, because I've seen so many women over 50 who look great in clothing. So I feel like, who am I?
That's true.
To tell you, what's appropriate, for you to wear at your age.
Exactly. And it's funny because even as I'm asking the question, I'm kind of thinking through, and I think it really does come down, like we determined, like what you're comfortable with. But I think it is important to know what really complements your shape and your size.
Exactly.
So I think that's important.
And then be aware of your audience and where you're going.
Be aware of your audience. Yeah. Exactly. No, that's key. I was thinking about, and I love watching like fashion videos and things like that. But I was thinking about like women with big legs and shorts. I'm like, oh my God, like that's like the best look to me. Like you ever see like a woman?
I'm not a short person. I will not wear shorts. You won't.
Me either, because I don't have
I
a
have
leg.
long legs. I have long, so that, like you said, they always look shorter.
Yes.
Especially if I'm going to wear a heel. Yeah. So.
But I've always seen like these women with like, you know, like a nice pair of kind of short shorts. I can't do the short shorts, but their legs are just amazing. Like they have those nice thick Beyonce legs.
It looks really good on some women.
Right.
More power to you if you can pull it off. Hey.
Exactly.
It's not over here.
Exactly.
Same here. A little bit longer.
And I realized if I do shorts, then I would have to wear, like if I did a short pair of shorts, then my top would have to be longer than the shorts. So it kind of gives the illusion.
You might as well just have on the dress
exactly.
shirt.
Exactly. Basically that's it. And then I would do like, you know, a flat, like a, you know, like a flat sandal. But I don't know. I'm trying to think like there, and I think because I've never been like really busty, you know, like this is fine, you know, a V-neck.
You never really had to deal with a whole lot of
exactly
stuff popping out of your
exactly. And I think the key is really like being comfortable.
Yeah, because I think like a lot of people might think that a woman over 50 shouldn't wear a two-piece.
Oh, that's a good one.
But I mean, if you think you look banging in it, if you're comfortable in it,
exactly,
girl, put it on. That's my one day I would love to be able to try one, you know, wear one on outside of the house.
Exactly.
But right now, because I'm conservative, it just feels too much to me like a bra and panties. And
yeah, see, I'm not
go out.
I'm not mad at the two-piece, but I promise you, this is probably the most, if this is like my stomach, right? This is probably the most skin that I'm comfortable showing at this stage. And I don't know if that's because of age or what, but I'm just not comfortable. Like when I was younger, I mean, I would have like the hip, you know, the weight, what do they call the low rise with the mid, like I would have my whole midsection out, child. You could tell me nothing. But now I'm like, God, I would feel like I would almost feel naked.
Exactly.
Like, dressed like that. So.
And I don't know if that's just because, you know, as we get older, sometimes we do tend to get a little more modest about, you know, what we wear and how we perceive, you know, how even we're perceived. Like I think about how my children might perceive me as well. So, you know, I've gotten into that whole new thing of doing TikTok, the little TikTok videos.
Oh, really? And I'm
like, okay, is this going to be something that my kids are going to ban me from Reel or TikTok for doing?
Right.
So, you know.
And you know, our kids always think we're doing too much anyway.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah, I'm not bold enough to get on TikTok. I'm like, I don't even. But you're right. I think for sure, because I have a daughter and I have a son, it's like, you know, just being that example. And I certainly wouldn't want to, you know, dress in a way that would embarrass. And then having a husband, like I wouldn't dress in a way that's like
embarrassed by. Yeah,
exactly. So I think those are, you know, kind of like certainly play a part in my thinking when it comes to getting dressed.
Yes.
So even like if I'm going out with my husband, depending on where we're going, I still, you know, I still won't wear anything too short or too revealing.
Because your first mindset is I represent him.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
So, yeah, I don't want him to ever be, you know, to question that or whatever.
Exactly. And you know, you don't want nobody to try to be disrespectful, and then he has to, you know.
You know, nowadays they will.
Oh yeah. Yep. And so, but no, I think those are the keys. Just really being comfortable with what you wear. But I think it is important to really kind of figure out what your style is. I think that's important.
Yes.
And I think it changed, like your style can change as the years progress. Or it may just elevate. Like you said, you know, I've always like a jean and a blazer, you know, might go from, you know, jean blazer heels to jean blazers flats, you know.
And then sometimes it's okay to be a little risque, because I'm trying to, you know, be a little more risque in wearing things. So, you know, like a pair of nice faux leather pants, you know, and some thigh-high boots, you know, that I would never wear. But, you know, sometimes you gotta kind of switch it up.
And it's funny because I'm trying to think like what's a risque kind of outfit that I would wear. I think it would definitely be. I think maybe
some thigh-high boots.
I don't know if I would do the thigh-high boots though. I think I would. I don't know. Like I would do thigh-high boots and maybe, because I'm trying to think. I don't have high heel thigh high boots. That's first. So I think that's a whole look in and of itself, to have like a high heel thigh high boot.
Yeah, a Mary J. Blige boot.
Yes. I'm trying to I don't know. I don't think I'm that bold.
We'll try, wear something around the house and see, Look, you are married, so you can role play.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do a whole pretty woman outfit change.
Right. That I have to take some notes right there. But I don't know, like the thigh high boots. I remember, first of all, they are gorgeous. I have a pair, but they're like flat suede thigh high boots. And I'm thinking when I wore them, I typically wear them like with like leggings or jeans, or like I never really like do too much with them.
Yeah, because I've never worn them with a dress.
Yeah.
But I will do, like the faux leather pants or a pair of jeans, like you say.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I actually have like a pair of leather shorts. And I got them from a thrift store. But I was like, these are so cute. But then I'm like, girl, where are you going with those? And I'm like, but I think I can, I'm like, I think I can do something with them.
So have you worn them yet?
I have not.
See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing. And one of the things, the book that I gave you, The Worthy Wardrobe by Morgan Wider.
Right.
She and I actually a few months ago had a conversation because I wanted her to, go through my closet and everything. And she was like, why don't you do a purging first? And she was like, absolutely don't go buy anything. Because then you just end, like you already don't have enough room for the stuff you have.
Exactly.
But then you're buying new items to replace it, but you aren't getting rid of anything.
Exactly.
So a thing I've started this summer is drawer by drawer. So last night I was sitting down watching something on television. And so I just grabbed one drawer, a t-shirt drawer, and dumped everything out and just went through, and I'm like, did you wear that within the last year or two? Nope. To decide, did you wear that? No. And then, there's some things like, my son used to play Pop Warner football. So, there's shirts that I have that I'm like, absolutely, I got to keep.
Exactly. But
yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah. And it's so funny because I have taken up the closet, my part of the closet in the bedroom. I've taken up the closet in my office, and I've taken up the closet in my son's room, or my son's old room. And I also bought like this wardrobe organizer. So I like literally, when I say,
a lot of clothes.
It's ridiculous.
And you still have the bins?
Yes. So the bins,
are you using the bins just to like switch out seasonally?
Yeah. So I use the bins to switch out seasonally, but I have at least 2 of those bins full of stuff that I cannot fit, whether it's shoes that I want to get rid of or clothes that I want to get rid of. But my daughter and her friends, they will always come and just kind of look and see what I have. So I'm trying to give them an opportunity. It's like, you guys need to come and look at this stuff before, like when I say some good quality stuff, I'm like, I just don't want to take it to, the thrift store. I certainly don't have time to try to do Poshmark and all these other kind of.
Yeah, and that's what I've done, because I used to be a big express shopper.
Yeah.
So, it's nothing to pay $60 for a pair of pants.
Exactly.
You like, if you've got 11 pair of $60 pants.
Exactly.
Do you want to just throw them in the bag and give them to Goodwill, or do possibly there might be someone younger who could use a good pair of slacks and a shirt for an interview or whatever?
Exactly. And I think so that's the hard part too, is like kind of doing that closet turnover. And I'm always like when I buy stuff, I like what I buy. So I try to go through and get rid of stuff that I bought like from H&M. So it's like, okay, get rid of all the H&M stuff, like, the fast fashion kind of, stuff out the closet. But I have like a lot of like really cool, unique, what I think are unique pieces.
And so even though you're not wearing them, it's hard to part with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then I find myself a lot of times wearing the same stuff.
Now I'm definitely right there. And I'm like, okay, you got to do, but so it's coming. I'm going to work on it over this summer. I don't go back to work until August. So.
Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Work on it. Otherwise, I need to pull on your energy for this dissertation, because. It's killer. It's killer.
Yeah. So, we'll probably talk about that because I was about to jump right into it. It's like, nope, let me stay focused because time is going by quickly and I wasn't even paying attention. But is there anything, let me see where my plug thing came out. Is there anything that you wanted to mention or talk about that you hadn't had a chance to mention?
No, just when it comes to dressing, consider, your audience and how you want people to perceive you. Otherwise, I feel like just stay true to yourself. If you're comfortable in it,
exactly,
by all means, because nobody else wants to be told what to wear. So, if you're working somewhere, where you have to wear a uniform, by all means, do wear the uniform, but just be mindful of, what you wear otherwise. But it's really hey, do you, sis?
Exactly. And I love getting dressed. I can remember as a little girl watching my mother get dressed, and it was always such such an event. And so I always loved clothes. I love, shoes like most women. I love anything that kind of sparkles or, just makes you feel good. Like for me, clothing really makes me feel feminine. Good. Exactly. But clothing really makes me feel good. Like to get dressed up and go somewhere, like it just feels good.
Yeah, so, I've done it. So like we didn't really talk about being in a virtual environment. And
yeah, let's talk about
it. How do you manage that? Because you're virtual a lot.
So some days are better than others. Like today, I was like, okay, I have the sweater dress. It's like, let's throw this on and, call it a day. A lot of times I'll do like button ups, but I'll have like leggings on at the bottom, but I'll have like a button up shirt.
Just trying to look appropriate from the neck down.
Exactly. Because that's all you see, But yeah, I think, and then some days I'll have like maybe a corporate sweater on or a corporate jacket, like something with a company logo on it. But I don't dress like I would if I was going into the office, which kind of sucks.
Which has been, though, the best thing about COVID is being able to work virtually from home.
Yeah. I think it has its ups and downs. I was like, I'm not going to complain. But I do definitely like one of the things
just getting out sometimes.
Exactly. Because I can literally go an entire week without like really going anywhere.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Like I can go, it'll be like a Saturday morning and I'm just like, okay, I need to get out the house. Yeah. Outside of, walking a dog, but like
I can
really
see that giving you pretty much cabin fever.
Exactly. But I think, even with that, even dressing or working virtually, a lot of people are, I think, kind of just do like a what do they call it, like a polo. Like a lot of the guys are just like in polos, and I don't really see too many people like with t-shirts on, or anything like that. But 9 times out of 10, everybody is still kind of at least looks presentable.
Yeah, at least from the waist up.
Yeah, and those days where I'm like, I just can't, I'll just keep my camera off.
And those are the meetings I prefer. The ones where you keep your camera on.
Exactly.
Like, do I have to have the camera on?
Exactly.
Like to me, I have ADD anyway. So to me, that's a distraction because now I'm looking at other people's videos instead of, being focused.
Yeah, no, I don't even, if I don't have to have it on, I don't turn it on. And I'll, kind of say, hey, my camera's off. I'll say it like I'm working from another location or just something. It's like, I can't.
And then post that cute little thumbnail of you,
Exactly. Where I look like I'm ready for the day.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, I'm sitting on the couch with 2 puffs, like, oh my God. Like, it's been a rough one. But this has been such a great conversation.
Yes, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. And it's funny, I think as women, a lot of us love fashion and love to dress.
I just don't love to shop.
You don't?
I hate shopping.
How do you like shop online or?
Online, or I'll go into a store like a Marshall's or something where there's not a huge, you won't catch me at the mall.
Right.
It's just, to me, the mall is like an amusement park.
Oh, wow.
I'm not really going to either.
Yeah.
Now, if I absolutely have to, I will, but I prefer, let me just be able to go into a little store and come on back out. And I go, I get just what I went in there looking for. If I pick up too much stuff, you put it back. I walk around for a little while with it in your arms and then
you're like, I don't need this. But I'll tell you, I have, no kidding. I'm sitting here counting on my hand. I have probably about 6 denim rompers. And when I say I can't fit any of them, and again, high quality, like J brand and high quality stuff. And I'm like, I cannot fit anything. So I said my daughter and her friends are going to have a field day.
So you need to arrange that soon. So, this time next year,
yes,
you don't still have those rompers.
Exactly. And it's funny because I'm going to have like a, what is it called? Like the little clothing hanger kind of thing, clothing rack. And I'm going to put everything up and they'll have it like the, rompers, dresses, like my daughter's always like, don't get rid of your dresses, just everything, and just have it out there. Like, y'all have come over and do lunch or do something, but get this mess out my closet. Like,
something
now.
You can also check into, like at my school, we're starting, I want to say like a wardrobe for teens at our school. So people are donating clothing, and then the kids will be able to go in and shop for free.
I love that.
And pick out items. So you might have a lot of items that you could take. See if there's a high school that's doing that.
And in fact, if it's not, I could probably suggest it. So that would be helpful. I love that idea. I have to, because I know they do that like with prom dresses and like prom season, but I think that would be a great idea just around,
there are a lot of needy teens.
I love that. I have to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, if somebody can get use out of, a $60 pair of pants you wore, hey, by all means.
Yeah.
I feel a lot better about that than just
exactly
Goodwill and
Exactly. And I'm like, I really don't want to give it to Goodwill. So I think that's going to be my first step, is to let my daughter and her friends come through and see what they want. Next step is to see if I can find a high school to do something like that for. I think that would be great, especially with shoes. I mean, it's a mess right now. I have like a million pairs of everything, and it's just too much. So
gotta get through it.
Exactly. I need somebody to come in and help me with my closet.
And you can probably find, well, I know there are a lot of stylists now that are doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you might be able to find a teenage girl that has a little bit of style that could use a little income.
Exactly. Kind of come in and help. I'm gonna have to figure out something, because I don't have another spot for between
I don't either.
And yeah, there's a mess between
Something's gotta go.
Yeah. I don't know, this conversation started off great, but now I'm thinking about, I got to get to this closet.
Well, do not ask the question, does it bring me joy? Ask the question, did I wear it within the last year?
Oh, see, that's a hard one, because the last couple of years been COVID. So I'm like, I think that's
maybe you need to broaden it to the last 3 years. So just before COVID, were you wearing it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because I know I have some clothes I was not wearing just before COVID either.
Yeah, that's true. And it's funny because I think I did like a closet purge probably before COVID. And then during COVID, I was still shopping like I ain't had no sense. So, but mostly thrifting. So not that I'm mad, not that it makes it any better, but I don't know. But Zenja, this has been such a great conversation. Yeah. And
thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for coming and joining us. So thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation. I just want to encourage you, take some of the tidbits from this conversation with regards to like developing your wardrobe and have fun with it. But then also, I love Pinterest. So use Pinterest as something to kind of inspiration, to help you either purge your closet or create your closet that you want. But yeah, as women, we love fashion and we love to look and feel good. So
yes,
thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again, Zenja, for being here. This has been an amazing conversation. Again, conversations that you don't even know you want to have, but we're having them. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, blessings.